I'm Rob and this is Cult Movie Club, and this is a Cult Movie Club Collects episode. There's a Blu-ray update this today. I've acquired a lot of titles recently over the last 4 to 5 weeks since the last video that I did about Blu-rays and stuff, so I thought I'd do a quick rundown of the stuff that I've picked up. In with this as well is some new Van Damme titles, so I thought instead of doing a Van Damme video, I would just link it into here. There's also been the HMV Premium Collection 2 for 15, so there's a couple of titles that I got out of that also, and I've got a couple of steelbooks that have been gifted to me that I wanted to do as part of this as well. So I'm just doing a big thing really. Let's get started. So I'll start with the Van Damme stuff. So this is one that should have got released back in November of 2020, but has been delayed. I think a lot down to the special features that they wanted to include, which is fine, you know. So it finally came. It came out. I think it came out about May, but it was like a Father's Day present, so I had to wait a little longer for it, which is fine. So let's have a look at this then. This is Legionnaire. Again, same kind of design on the slip case, shiny design. And this one was a number 138, so that's a pretty low number. Quite happy with that. Let's pop it open. In this one, we get a booklet, which I prefer over the postcards. Some great information in this. It's not a massive booklet, but again, it's good to have. And we also get the poster, which I'm not going to fold out. It's the same artwork as the front cover. There is reversible artwork. It is quite similar. Let's have a look. It's a bit different, but so Legionnaire came out in the back end of the 90s when he'd just done Double Team and Knockoff, and those films didn't go down that well with audiences and didn't exactly set the box office on fire. This came after those. This is totally different, however. This is totally it's a bit more of a drama, to be honest. There is action in there, although you won't find him doing the splits or anything in this. This is quite a serious role. And it is actually a really good film. If any of the ones in that back end of the 90s period deserve a cinema release, this was the one, and this was the first one to go straight to DVD, so, you know. Out of all the 88 films that Van Damme collection that they have released so far, this by far is the most special features, which include audio commentary with the writer, Sheldon Lettich, which is a regular Van Damme collaborator. There's an interview with the director and the producer. There is an interview with the second unit director. There is an interview with the stunt coordinator, and there's an interview with the composer. So there's loads of interviews on this. You also get the trailer and, you know, all the regular stuff. So that's a really good release. I'm yet to actually go into those special features, and I'm looking forward to rewatching the film because I've not seen it for a while. So another Van Damme title that came out the same time as that, but is not an 88 films one, is this one, Wake of Death, which is, for me, by far one of his best films of the later period of his career. I think this came out about 2004, so he did this after In Hell, which is another great Van Damme film from that era. This is such a good film, and he puts in such good performance here. Stop smirking and being serious. It's a proper good revenge thriller. It's pretty light on special features. You do, however, get a poster, which is actually different artwork to the front cover. Let's have a look. Yeah, so you get that, and this was apparently limited to 3,000 copies. I don't know how true that is, but that's what they were saying. It includes the original making of featurettes, which is like VHS quality. It's not great at all. Interesting, but you know, it's not that great. But it's just really good to have the film on Blu-ray in HD. It's a great film. If you've been getting these 88 Jean-Claude Van Damme films, then you should definitely look at this one. I know it's not got the slipcase and everything, but it's definitely worth a look. Right, so that's the Van Damme stuff. Into the premium collection stuff that I got recently. And thanks again to my brother Elliot Balfe, who managed to pick these up for me. The first one is Judgement Night from, I think, 1993 or 4. I had the soundtrack, well, still have the soundtrack to this film. Had it since, like, when it came out. I was into all the music that was on that soundtrack at the time. I didn't watch the film a good few years later. And I did like it, but it's one of them that you just totally forget about, even though I was still listening to the soundtrack on a regular basis. I think the soundtrack was way more popular than the film, as it was like a mix of popular metal artists at the time and like the emerging hip-hop artists. So it was a really good soundtrack. So I thought I'd pick this up to read, because I've not seen it in, 25 years or something. And, you know, I do like the packaging and stuff like that. Let's have a look and actually see what's in this, because I've not even had a look. I've literally just cracked the seal. Let's get it out. So you get the art cards, which are sealed. And there is a poster in here as well. There isn't reversible artwork. It's just like a still from the film, and Emilio Estevez there. So looking forward to rewatching that. And the next one I have not seen, but it's a film that I've been after for a while. I've said in previous videos, I'm a David Bowie fan, a big fan of his music. This is a film of his that I never watched back in the day, but I was aware of, so I wanted to pick this up as it was in that sale. It was The Hunger. So yeah, like I said, I've not seen this. Let's just have a quick look, see what's in this. It's a Blu-ray and a DVD. DVD is probably not going to get watched, but some art cards. So there's no poster in this one, and there's no reversible artwork. Again, it's just like a still. You got David Bowie there. I'm not sure who the other one is. It's just David Bowie just playing at right bass on violin. Right, okay, so that's the premium collection. Now this is just moving on to stuff that I've got in the last few weeks. So this is one that has been in my Amazon wish list for about 7 years, and it's always one of them that I'll get it next time. I'll get it next time. I'll get it next time. It came to a point where I saw it, and I saw it cheap enough, and they had a voucher, and I was like, right, this is the time. It's the Evil Dead trilogy. I'm so happy to finally have. So you got the original Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness. And it's a Studio Canal release, and they're all on different discs as well. There is a slip cover, I believe, for this release. There is, because I've seen it. But I unfortunately didn't get it, but it's no big deal. Rewatched Evil Dead 2 the other night. I so love that film. It's one of the, and it's not strictly a horror film, but it's one of my favourites. It's forgot how over the top and crazy that film goes. Really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to checking out the other two as well. Next is one that I'm putting towards the horror classics that I've been collecting. I'm doing something in October with all these films. So I've got The Omen, which is a classic film. There's a lot of trivia on this. A lot of accidents happened when the making of this film. Were they coincidence or were they not? There was a big documentary about this. I hope it's actually on here. I think it is. Yeah, so looking forward to rewatching that. This is one that I got a good few weeks ago that I've watched, that I'm going to have to watch again. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the mood of the film, although I didn't quite get the whole scope of it. So I'm looking forward to watching it. It's got one of my favourite actresses recently in it, Anna Taylor-Joy. I think she's absolutely wonderful in everything. It's the Witch, or the Vivitch, whatever you want to call it. It's the same guy that did The Lighthouse, which I'm looking forward to watching also with Robert Pattinson. Yeah, I did like it. But it is something I am definitely going to put on the rewatch pile, because I don't think I've got everything out of it that I should have. So looking forward to rewatching that. Possessor was a film that I've been wanting to watch since it came out, and I finally saw it at a good, reasonable price. So I picked it up, and I really enjoyed it. You can tell that Cronenberg has made this film. It is really violent in places, horrifically, actually. The ideas in the film are really good. Again, this is a film I need to rewatch just to fully get the scope of it again. It's pretty layered, so there was things that I probably missed that I do need to get on the rewatch. Yeah, highly recommended. Really glad I finally got it. The next is Brawl in Cell Block 99, which is another film that I've been wanting to watch for a while. I've never been a big Vince Vaughn fan. I thought he was good in Dodgeball. That's it. In a lot of his later films, I just found him really annoying, and it seemed like he was just repeating the same shtick all the time. So when I saw this, I was like, it's Vince Vaughn. So I was put off by it, but this is not the Vince Vaughn that you have seen in any other film. This is totally different. It's like a 70s grindhouse exploitation movie. Vince Vaughn is just like a massive, huge guy in this who's like put in a really bad position, and is given this like ultimatum. He has to do this thing, or bad things are going to happen to his family. And it's like an unrealistic kind of expectation of what he has to do, but he does it. This film is so brutal in parts, it will make you wince, or it made me wince anyway. And it's also got some wink wink effects to like the 70s style on which it's trying to replicate slightly. Really enjoyed it. Highly recommend. Next is You Were Never Really Here, which is a film that I originally watched on Netflix not long after I saw Joker at the cinema, and really enjoyed this film. This will make a really good double bill with Joker. You could actually add The Master to that as well, and have a like Joaquin Phoenix proper film marathon, because all those three films contain three really, really good performances. This one was slightly more under the radar. This is directed by Lynn Ramsey, who I think did We Need to Talk About Kevin, that's it, which I've actually never seen, but I've heard good things about. Yeah, really good performance. This is like a slow burn of a film, but again, it's a character that's he's got a job, and the job goes really wrong, and he gets put in this really bad position, and he has to try and get out of it. And highly recommend. Very good. I like these black cases also that they're putting on these. I've got another one here in a black case, and this is again another film that I haven't seen yet, but I've been wanting to watch for a while. It is Bone Tomahawk, which is the same director as Brawling Cell Block 99, and after watching that film, I want to watch this even more now, because that was great. I've heard what this film's like. I've heard about it. It's one of them that, again, I was just waiting to see to pick up, and I saw it with a load of other stuff, and I just grabbed it. So looking forward to watching that. Again, just Kurt Russell. I love a bit of Kurt Russell. Right, so we're getting onto some pretty grisly stuff here now. This was I'd heard about it, and I saw it at a reasonable enough price. And I thought, go on then. And I'm not sure whether that was a good idea or not after watching it, but I'm not sure I'm going to watch this film again in any time soon. It is The Greasy Strangler, which was pretty disgusting. I can't even describe what goes on in this film without probably getting kicked off YouTube. If you're interested in this kind of weird, sick kind of thing, then yeah, you might like it. If you imagine the early Peter Jackson work, particularly Bad Taste, mixed with maybe Little Britain, and you've got a rough idea of probably what this film is like. If someone said this was the worst film ever made, I would probably agree with them. If someone else in that conversation said this is a really good time, I would agree with that as well, because although I sat there gagging for a lot of it and was shaking my head, I was slightly entertained. I don't know what that says about my character, but there we go. The Greasy Strangler. Although the box isn't greasy, I feel like I need to wash my hands even holding it. It's a pretty nice cover and design, to be honest. That was another reason why I was like, yeah, go on then. It looked like an Arrow video release. And in time, it probably will be something that you will see on that label. On that note, and going along with that kind of theme, is something else. Now, this is a steelbook that I saw on Zavvi. Really cheap, like really cheap. And I was like, do I even want them films? I'm not even sure I want to own them. But it was really cheap, and I thought I'll probably just get it because they're in a steelbook. And it's probably going to be really collectible. And you know what? I'm going to rewatch them maybe the first one. But it was sold out, and I was like, I'll keep checking. And it's just remained on that site, but sold out the whole time, which is really frustrating. It's like they're putting it there going, oh, you could have this for this really amazing price, but we just haven't got it, and we're not going to get it, and we're just going to put it there to wind you up. Which was really annoying. So that made me want it more and more. On eBay, I'd kept an eye on it on eBay and saw some were going at an alright price, but some were like £40 and stuff. So again, it is highly collectible. And I saw it at a reasonably price, and here we are. So the Human Centipede first and full sequence in this steelbook. And that's the back, and it's in pretty good condition, and it's 4 discs, so you get a DVD and Blu-ray of each film. The first film is although shocking with its story and where it's going, it is more of a, you know, crazy kind of scientist guy, you know, same kind of thing as Reanimator, but a bit more extreme. You know, it's got its fun parts in it, although it is pretty twisted and sick. The second one is just absolutely, well, it got banned, and they had to cut loads of stuff out of it for it even to get a release in the UK, never mind anywhere else. And when I watched it, I actually agreed that whatever was in that film, they were probably right to cut it out, and maybe it shouldn't have even been released, because it is really shocking. It's a good idea, you know. The guy is like a meta movie, so it's the guy is influenced by watching the first film, what he's obsessed with, and decides to try and replicate it. Really disturbing. I'm not sure I'm going to be watching that one anytime soon. I don't know, I might just watch them both in one night and just go for it and see what happens. I probably will do that. So that's that. And the next one is another steelbook, and is something that I was after about 5 years ago. And then it went out of print, and then that was it. You know, you didn't see it then. Again, on eBay, £40. So saw it at a really cheap price, to the point that I asked to question the seller whether the discs were actually in the box. So I didn't know whether they were just trying to sell the steelbook without the discs because it was that cheap. And it turned out that no, it was a full package. So here we go. Ghoulies 1 and 2. This is a really nice steelbook. That's actually embossed. And then you've got the back there. And it's the 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. Now, I thought I'd seen both of these, but it turned out I had not seen one, because I put it on and had no recollection of anything, and didn't know what to expect at all. I actually thought I'd seen it, but there you go, I hadn't. It wasn't that great. It's probably one that I had to have watched back in the day to have any appreciation for. I did, however, love Ghoulies 2, which is the one that I had seen in the 80s. I remember renting that out. Well, I obviously didn't, but I remember watching it and really enjoying it, and it is so much better than the first one. It's a lot more humour. There's a lot. The set pieces are really good. As you can tell, they had like a better budget. Yeah, really enjoyed that. In this also, you get the poster, which is just the artwork from the front of the steelbook. So I was really glad to get that, and it was an amazing price. So yeah. And the last two are Arrow video releases. So I'll quickly just get to these now. This film I was really impressed with. I'd not seen it before, and that's Flowers in the Attic. It was quite a disturbing storyline, and it was quite upsetting at times. It was, however, a really, really good film. It was scored by Christopher Young, who scored Hellraiser, and it's a similar sort of score, but it works dead well here, because it could have come off as like a TV movie. It's got that vibe about it, but the score is really cinematic. And it's like a horror score, and it elevates the material basically, and over with the score, it makes it a really good film. Like I said, with a generic score, it could have been a bit TV movie-ish, but yeah, really enjoyed that. And the last one I watched last night, and it was interesting. I did enjoy it. I did really enjoy it. It's In the Aftermath, which is a film from 1988. I quickly read this, and I saw it was New World. I was like, oh, I'm interested already. And then I saw it was, you know, post-apocalyptic, and I thought, that's all I need to know, and I picked it up. It was only later when I was like, let's have a proper look at this, and realised that it's like spliced with this manga film called Angel's Egg, this 80s manga film. I was like, okay, didn't pick that up when I originally, you know, read it. I was like, okay, well, let's see what it's like. And I expected it, after reading this, I expected it to be a mess. And it is a bit messy, but the way they've interwoven the original anime with this wraparound story is it works quite well, actually. I mean, fans of the original anime will not probably be a fan of what they did here. What happened was basically the New World, Roger Corman got the rights to that anime really cheap, but didn't understand it, and, you know, wanted to try and sell it somehow, so decided to try and put in some live action to try and make sense of the anime. Fine. So they are slightly successful in that way. I understood the story. Apparently the manga is a lot more confusing. It's not meant to be really understood. It's more of a visual experience, and here what they've done is trying to, you know, weave the story in and out. And yeah, I did enjoy it. Again, the soundtrack is really good. It's got this because it's set in an industrial. The live action pieces are set on this industrial site, which I'm really sure is the same site that they filmed a lot of Cyborg on, Nemesis, Damme. All those films got filmed on that site. I am 100% sure. And those are, interestingly enough, are all Albert Pyun films as well. This isn't, but again, it's different. I did enjoy it. I didn't regret buying it. So thank you very much for watching. That was my Blu-ray pickups from the last few weeks. It's quite a lot of titles. I do need to slow down. But I am enjoying watching all these films, so I'm enjoying it in a minute, so great. And thank you for watching this video. You know, if you like this kind of content, I've done a few of these now. So subscribe and have a look at those, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.